Welcome. We're getting ready to go over lessons 105 through 108. So last week our focus was on measuring lengths as well as weights. This week we have one more lesson on weights, and then we're going to go into working with the clock and telling time. So before we get started, let's see what materials will be needed this week. You're going to need your centimeter cubes, the balance, the geometric solids, your abacus, the clock, a calendar. This one happens to show all the months. You could have one where you have to flip through the months, scissors and glue, worksheets, the clock without numbers from the appendix page. Only the hour cards are needed for the clock cards, the math card game book, and this is optional, but a book on telling time. Lesson 105, measuring with grams. So this first part, weighing on the scale, it's not going to really matter as much if you happen to have some of these that are not equal to 10 grams. If you do, make sure you're using the one that is equal to 10 grams. If not, you can access an alternate lesson on our website at rightstartmath.com. Go to resources, then click on teaching support, scroll down till you see corrections, then click on level A and you're going to see lesson 105, and it's going to give you an alternative to the part of this lesson that requires these weights. But for most of this lesson, you're going to be fine even if this doesn't weigh exactly 10 grams. This first part, you're really comparing these centimeter cubes equal 1 gram. So technically 10 of these should equal one of these. But we're doing this verbally. We're talking about it verbally. Then your child will be weighing this half hemisphere. They're going to put it in their cup. This will be on the balance. This other cup will be on the other side of the balance, both of these on 10. And they're going to put these in until this balances. Now it's going to be probably around 23 to 25 of these that they'll be using. It just depends on how much this weighs. Once they have the amount that balances, they're going to empty this out and see how many they have. Then they're going to trade in 10 of these for one of these. And this is really the main part of this lesson. It's not even so much about the weighing, but understanding that even 10 of these can be traded in for one of these. So again, if you have a problem with the weights on here, the actual weight on here, it's okay. You can skip the part about actually weighing them on the balance if it doesn't work. Make sure you work with your children that 10 of these little 1 gram weights is going to be the same as one of these 10 gram weights. And then you're going to end with weighing the cone. Same thing. You're going to put the cone in here. You're going to add weights to this side, the grams. Then you'll take these out once you get them to balance, and then you'll replace it with these. Again, just reinforcing how 10 of these equals one of these. Lesson 106, parts of the day. We're going to review the months of the year, the days of the week, even the 30 days, half September. Remember, we have the music on our website. This is kind of a nice light lesson, I think. Just a lot of getting up and moving around, using your body to show parts of the clock, when it's noon, when it's afternoon, when it's evening, and then they'll have an activity in their worksheet, just reinforcing the different times of the day. Lesson 107, hour numbers on a clock. So this lesson, along with the next 3 lessons, are considered enrichment, meaning that these are optional. However, I encourage you to at least try it with your children. This is something that a lot of children like to do, working with a clock, telling time. So this is not something that is really required of a child who is in level A, but a lot of children are ready for this. So go ahead and give it a try. If your child is not quite ready for this, it's okay. They're going to work again with clocks and telling time in level B. But if they do enjoy this, then have some fun and just take your time and see how it goes. So this lesson is going to call for the appendix page, the clock A. It's just a clock that has where the hour hands are going to go, but as you can see, there's no hours on there. It also calls for one set of the hour numbers for the clock cards. They're these little cards. This is what it looks like. This is what the numbers look like. These are red. There's also another set that's purple. It doesn't matter which color you decide to use. It's numbers 1 through 12. You'll use these items for this lesson. There's a game that they'll play called the Mystery Card Clock Game, which once they get this done, you have it laying flat, you have all the numbers around it like they're supposed to go. Then where the game comes in is you're going to have your child stand up and turn around, and then you're going to take one of those numbers, you're going to flip it over, and they're going to turn back around, and they have to look at the clock and figure out what hour was flipped over. It's a pretty simple game. I think it's something your child will enjoy, especially those that are good with their numbers and if they really enjoy learning more about a clock. And then there is a worksheet that goes with this. Last lesson for this week, lesson 108, learning our numbers. Again, an enrichment lesson, but one I think your children will enjoy doing. This is where it calls for a book about time, and it's optional, so you don't have to have a book about time, but if you do, this would be a good time to pull it out and read it with your child. The one recommended in this lesson is a DK reader called Telling Time, and you'll see it shows who it's by. So you could do a Google search. You may have this on your bookshelf. Maybe your library has it and you can go and borrow it from them. You'll be using the geared clock for this lesson, and your child's going to be learning about the hour hand, which is the red hand, and the minute hand, which is the blue hand. And of course, they might want to say the bigger hand and the smaller hand, but really work with them at calling them by their proper names. The other thing about this clock, that you cannot move the hour hand. It doesn't move. Don't force it. It'll break. You have to move the minute hand to get, it's like winding, like getting, and then you could do it backwards. So if you want the hour hand to move, you're going to have to move the blue minute hand to do so. And just for your observation, or for your information, I just think this is so neat. The hour hand is red. Look at the numbers around the clock. The hour numbers are red. The minute hand is blue. Look at the minutes on the clock. They're blue. So I just thought that's kind of neat. There are 3 games in here that you have the option to play. Remember, we do that 5th day. You might want to play one of the games today and then save the other 2 for that 5th day if you want. Or you may decide you want to play some games that will help them strengthen some concepts that they've been learning, but you feel like they could be a little bit stronger in. All right, we're done for this week. Yeah, getting to do some work with clocks. Again, it is enrichment, meaning enrichment lessons are just that. They're enrichment. Your child will have opportunity, lots more opportunity of working with clocks and telling times when they get into level B. This is kind of one of those, hey, there's enough information here. And even though technically, according to the standards, you don't have to know this, you still can. And so therefore, we take some time out and introduce working with clocks. So I hope it goes well. Enjoy your week. Join me next week as we go over lessons 109 through 112. Until then.